Hello everybody, Corey here. I'm going to go over the trades and holdings for, I don't even know what day of the week it is, for Thursday, July 25th. I'll also show the trades for July 24th because I did all the data, I had everything, I just didn't get to do the trades. I didn't get to do the videos, and I was going to do those today, and then of course that didn't happen either, so sorry about that. Here I am. But anyway, just a reminder, I'm not a qualified licensed investment or financial advisor. I just gather data and present it to you. YieldMax ETFs are extremely risky. Please make sure you've read through the prospectus, understand the risk involved in these before investing in them. So one thing I haven't thought of now, because I forgot about both days. This one's in alphabetical order. This one is not in alphabetical order. But I see Apple, AMZ, and AMDY. So no ABNY though. So let's just look at that first. Looks like we have a short call that expires next week with a 146 strike price. Looks like a possible upside of 80 cents for ABNY if it can get up there. It looks like it dropped over $4 today. Then we have AIYY. Let's see. Hold on. This says there are trades. Yeah, that doesn't even make sense either. Hold on, let's see. It's not even showing the data there. Let me look. Maybe I overlooked it. All right. I wonder. I don't know. See, this is showing it's here because, no, this would be pulling it from the trades tab. Sorry, some of this is like raw data and okay, so I do see it on this sheet. I feel like I saw that now. Hold on. I don't know why. Oh, I guess I didn't have, because I didn't have it scrolled all the way to the top here when I looked at this, or I didn't pay any attention. Okay, sorry about that. And then this one's just not in alphabetical order, because this is the original way it comes, and it comes out. I can only assume, because Tesla's always at the top, that it comes out in the order in which it was released or something. Like I said, I didn't plan to go over this one, so it's not in alphabetical order. So I apologize about that. ABNY here. At the top here, you can see they closed the short calls that were going to expire tomorrow, had the 152.50 strike price. And so now, those, let's say the contracts, I was only 240. So yeah, they closed those out for 2 cents. And now they will expire next week with that 146 strike price. So then we have AIYY. We just saw those over there, and yeah, since it is Thursday, a lot of these have been closed out, so we'll have to go over here to see those that were closed. So we have the short call that was going to expire tomorrow. They closed that out for 5 cents a share, And now we have an expiration date of next Friday with a $28 strike price versus a $31 strike price. And I don't think we had any the day before. Lots of A's here. All right. So we have the new $28 strike price. It expires next week. We're currently underneath that 4%. Looks like an upside here of about 45 cents for that short call. And this actually ended up today. I guess because I didn't do the video yesterday, I didn't realize that it closed at 1074. That we were actually up at 1088 today. And wow, AMDY. So we know we had trades for both days for this, but look at this. And that's actually one of the reasons I really wanted to do the videos, which is why I made sure that I for sure got everything done, is because of the way the stock market dropped. So let's look yesterday. I'm going to pull up the prices. So 2 days ago, we were at 2059. Well, let's look at this one. And we were at 1532. We dropped to 1447. And then now, today, we are at 1387. This is a lot of, in fact, how about I do this? Because this I do want to see. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I should talk about this on the daily roundup. What did I just do? I did hide, didn't I? Insert. I just want to insert a column. There we go. How about I take today and put it here. And then that makes, if today is, let's see, the 25th, this should be the 23rd. Sorry, I hear that. I'm sure that, do it with my finger, all the clicking on the screen. It's probably annoying. Of course, if I do this, I don't know, maybe, like I said, maybe I shouldn't do this here. But look at that drop. At least for AMDY. And then if I take this and I do this, oh, I guess I had to put an equal on here, huh? Minus, shoot, equals this. I'm going to get this right in a second. I'm not used to doing this stuff on my iPad or whatever, not on a computer. Of course, this one isn't going to be right. And this one isn't going to be right. But AMDY has dropped $1.50 in the last 2 days. Maybe that's the only, no, Coney's dropped a couple of dollars, but we usually don't look at that one too much. Squee $1.50, Tesla $1.50. Of course, Tesla's special. I don't know. Okay. I guess it was only a few of them that were really, really bad. And I don't know, to me, that's really bad. But, okay, I'm sorry I took us down a rabbit hole there. But AMDY, yeah, I feel like it's dropped a lot, especially when you see it down in the $13 range. But yeah, I think some of us are really screwed on that one, whether we own AMDY or AMD at this point. And then I'm sitting here thinking, I should have known better. I should have known better, right? Because if NVDA was going to come down, so was AMD, but even harder. But anyway, okay, so we have trades. Let's go over the trades for these. We know we have trades for both days. So yesterday here, they actually added 170 contracts to AMDY. And so that was yesterday's trades. They added 170 contracts to the synthetic, created a short call for next week with 170 or 162.50. And then they did a lot of stuff today. So here at the bottom, you can see they added 225 contracts new today. And then here, the first three lines is where they've closed out to these short calls that were going to expire tomorrow, the 175 and the 160 strike prices. So they were able to close those out for 1 or 2 cents a share here. And then you can see here now for next week, we have $155 or $155 and $157.50 strike prices for next week. Well, that will expire next week. So that's, I know it's lots of trades, but that is everything. Let's say they brought in $1.65 million today there for AMDY on all those trades. So if we look over here, we can see those. We can see now a total of 4 short calls that will expire next Friday: 155, 157.50, 162.50, and 172.50. The good thing about this, with these strike prices, that we're underneath those anywhere, from 11 to 20%, which means there's a lot of upside possible here for AMDY to go up over the next week, if possible. So you can see the majority of our contracts are here, and it's saying about $1.30 to go up there. And I was just talking about we've dropped $1.50 the past couple of days. So, if we can get up fairly high, of course, it looks like the majority. This is the short call that has the most contracts on it, but these two are fairly close together, and they actually equal a little more than that one. So, yeah, I don't know how that would work out exactly, because if we get to the 157.50, well, even, I don't know how that would work out, because to get all the way up to here, which then means these, we would have to pay quite a bit to close them out. Of course, I still think it would be quite a bit if we can get up. I don't know. Let's see. Just curious. I'm not saying it's gonna go. I don't even know where we got 172.50 from. Because we're at 140, so we're 30 something dollars away from that. I guess that was done a few days ago when everything was fine and dandy, right? I don't know why some of these take a minute. Yeah, we'd already had that one before yesterday too. So anyway, like I said, good news when we do see these big percentages being underneath these strike prices, because that just means it allows for a lot more upside. So we have the next 6 days to possibly go back up. All right, so let's check out AMZ here. Yesterday we had some AMC trades, you can see right here. They added 125 contracts to the synthetic and created a new short call with 197.50 strike price. For next week, they also closed out of the short calls that were going to expire tomorrow and rolled those to next week. They only paid 3 cents to close those out. And then if we look at today, they closed out the 195 strike price and the 187.50 strike price that were going to expire tomorrow. So they closed the 195s out for 2 cents a share, and then 17 cents for the 187.50 strike price. And then you can see next week we have those 195s again. And that, I don't know if I said 197.50 or 187.50, but this week's was 187.50. Next week we have a 197.50 there. And I don't even remember where Amazon's prices were. So AMZ itself actually hasn't dropped but 68 cents in the last few days. It was going down before that. I just can't remember how many days in a row we've been going down. All right. So if we go over here to the AMZ holdings, we have the 2 short calls, the 195 and the 197.50 strike price. We are below those 8 and 9%. You can see the majority of the contracts are there at the 197.50 strike price. So again, great for possible upside here. It looks like $1.30 to upside to 197.50 here. Of course, then we'd have to pay to close those shares out. The 2,000 something. So we got about I don't know. We got about a third of the shares at the 195, and then about 2/3 at 197.50. Maybe I should do another column with that, because I'm always trying to figure out when I'm looking at the possible upside about how much shares are sitting at which short calls, because like here, and I know I've said this on another one, but it's upside of 45 cents until it gets to that 195 strike price. Then this is actually going to start bringing the price down versus, pushing the price up, because now we're going to pay to close this one up, though this one will be going up. So it's like this struggle there, right? Trying to figure out about how much upside we could possibly do here. But anyway, just give you an idea if you haven't watched these before. And then we have, I didn't think about this, we have some of these synthetics, which I guess are still 3 weeks out from expiring on some of these. So I don't know if the market will come back up before then or not. But what we're going to do is now we have Apple. So yesterday they closed out the 235 strike price that was going to expire tomorrow. They closed those out for 4 cents a share and went ahead and rolled those to next week with a 232.50 strike price. And then today, it looks like they had a 232.50 and a 230 strike prices here that were going to expire tomorrow. They paid 2 cents a piece to close those out. And now we have a 227.50 here for next week. So if we look at our holdings, we have 2 short calls, the 227.50, 232.50. We are underneath those 4 and 6%. So the majority of our contracts are at that 2,665. So if we can get up to the 227.50, we're looking at about a 50-cent upside there for Appling. Get us back over 18. I know we were just at 18. But, all right, so Coney. I don't know if we had any Coney trades. Nope, we didn't have Coney yesterday. Today, they did close out the 275 strike price for 7 cents a share. That was going to expire tomorrow, and now they still left it at the 270 strike price for next week. And I say still, I just surprised that they've done them that high, considering that I know Coney was at least down in the 220s at some point today. But it looks like it ended up closing down $14 at 231. So we had the 2 short calls here. So this says we still have, so I guess what they did is close half of the contracts out. Yeah, and those half they closed out was for 7 cents. And then at the end of the day, the other half of the shares showed that they could be closed out at 3 cents. So they'll close those out tomorrow. But I guess they're waiting to see what's going to, if anything, is going to happen. But anyway, so they're still under those strike prices of 270 and 275, 14 to 16%. Whether it expires tomorrow or next week. Of course, it'd be nice to go up $1.50 if it could get up to that strike price, but I don't think it's going to. At least not tomorrow for sure, right? Unless for some reason Bitcoin just goes crazy. All right, so let's go to Dizzo. Yep, I knew I saw Dizzo over here. So yesterday they closed out the short calls with the strike prices of 199 that were going to expire tomorrow, and then they went ahead and rolled half of them to next week with a $93 strike price. Wow. All right, so they closed those other ones out for 2 cents, but last time I saw Disney was at $90, but that was yesterday. I don't see it. I didn't see it today. So let's look if we had any trades here today. We had one where they used the rest of the shares and they put them at a $92 strike price. All right. So then if we go to the holdings, we see both of those new short calls there for next week. It looks like we closed closer to 89 today. And we have a $92 and $93 strike price, in which we're underneath these 3 or 4%. So it looks like we could possibly go up about 24 cents there for that short call if we can get to that $92 strike price. It's just a little under $3 there. All right, so Phoebe, we are down at $16. All right, no trades yesterday, and no trades today. Which I guess I probably could have looked and seen that it still had a short call expiring tomorrow, and I would have known. But we have the short call here expires tomorrow at the $495 strike price, which are currently under 8%. So yeah, it's showing today it would have cost us 6 cents to close these out. So just, unless they just wanted to do it today, it makes sense to wait till tomorrow to pay 1 or so cents, because it looks like they ended up dropping, what, $8? $8 today, which sucks. But it'd be awesome if it could go up, right? If it did, something happen, it could go up to $4.95. We could go up almost $1.50. That'd been awesome. We could get back above 18 something. But yeah, I doubt it. Anyways, so GDXY. So which day? This was the other day's trades. So I don't see any. GDXY. So the first two lines, they closed out the short call that was going to expire tomorrow at the $38.50 strike price for 1 cent a share. And now we have a new short call for next week with a $37.50 strike price. And then when they added to that same strike price for next week and to the synthetics for 285 contracts there. That's what those next three lines are. So if we go over to our holdings, we can see a $37.50 and a $38.50 strike price for next week, which we're currently under 3% and 6%. Looks like the majority of the contracts are the $37.50, which is only $1.31 away, but we could looking at a possible 61-cent upside there for GDXY for the short calls, which really only gets us back up to about just shy of $19. Of course, these don't expire till next week, so we will see what happens. Gooey. So no trades yesterday. And today they closed out the short call. It's going to expire tomorrow with the $195 strike price. Because remember, we did have earnings, but the stock's been going down. But they closed those out 2 cents a share. And our new strike price for next week is $177.50. All right, sorry for the long pause. I guess I'm going to start drinking coffee again at night to stay awake and alert to do these. It's been a struggle. Maybe it's just working outside in the heat a lot, working on the yard and the garden. But anyway, so we have GUI here. We have a short call with the $177.50. We're currently underneath that 6%. We can see that GUI dropped another $5 or so today there. Possible upside of almost $1 there, which would get us up above $17 if we can get above that by next week. We will see. So JPMO. We did have some JPMO trades I saw for yesterday. It looks like they closed out these short calls that were going to expire tomorrow, the 200 and 22.50 strike price and the 220. They paid 2 and 3 cents to close those out, and then they went ahead and rode the 245 to next week at the 215. But my guess is they possibly did the 305 today. So let's look over here, JPMO, yeah. So they closed out, I guess they didn't close out of all of the JPMO because this has another 30 here. Oh, okay, so that was a 215 strike price there. Okay, so they closed out the 215 strike price for 30 cents, and now they took the ones they didn't use yesterday, and those they did today, and now we have a 215 and a 212.50 strike price for next week there. So if we look over at our holdings, we can see we have the 3 strike prices there, the 212.50, 215, 217.50. We're underneath those 2, 3, and 4%, with the majority of the strike prices being at the 215, which shows about a 39-cent upside there at that short call. It looks like this one stayed pretty steady as far as the prices between yesterday and today. We only went up a few cents on both of them. Now, Moderna, I'm not sure what was happening, but it seemed like it was going up today. We don't have any trades for Moderna. All right. So, yep. So we have Murny here. Looks like they did go up over a couple of dollars today. Murny did. And they have strike prices that short calls expire tomorrow with the strike price of 126 and 130. So we're currently below those by 4 and 7%. If we could get up to the 126, which is not going to, I'm 95% sure it's not going to happen, though I don't know why it came up today. Anyway, we have about 67-cent upside there if it could. But these will be closed out tomorrow, and then we'll find out what our strike prices are for next week. I don't think MSFO is traded either day. You can see we still have stuff for next week, or for this week. All right, so we have the 2 short calls that are going to expire tomorrow with the 450 and the 457.50 strike prices. We're currently below those 7 and 9%, and as you can see, Microsoft dropped another $10.50 today. Of course, MSFO didn't come down that much, but 43 or so cents there. But at the end of the day, they could pay about 3 cents to close these out. So these will be closed out tomorrow, and we'll see what our short calls will be for next week. So next is Misty. I didn't see trades at all on Misty. So I still just don't know why all that money's sitting there. But we have a short call that expires tomorrow, $16.75 strike price. I know everybody was really upset. I'm pretty sure it was at the beginning of this week because we were up above 1,800 at one point. I think I sold 4 shares this week. And then it makes me wish I'd sold the rest of my shares because it's just been coming down ever since. But we are 4% below that strike price as of today. Of course, on this one, we know anything could happen between today and tomorrow. I don't think I saw this one at $27 today, but I did see it at some point at $28. But honestly, I was like, yeah, it's still not cheap enough for me to buy back in. Well, I think I actually have some still, but I did sell some of my Misty, or some shares that I had specifically in one of my accounts that I was selling my micro strategy out of. But yeah, I wasn't going to buy more. It wasn't down low enough still. I don't think I saw any Nephle trades. This one, we have NVDA. Yeah, we just have NVDA. So it looks like we're going to be in the same place. It's funny, this stock didn't do much of anything. It went down a couple of dollars. Nephle went down a few cents, but with the 660 strike price for Friday, and this one, right, it had earnings. But 660 strike price below that 4%, possible upside of 65 cents. If this one could get up more tomorrow, let's hope so, because if it can get up more tomorrow, then our stock price will go up, and then our strike price for next week will be higher, which then allows us for more upside. All right, so NVIDIA. So we know there's lots of trades here on NVIDIA. So we'll go back to yesterday. We can see here. Hold on. Does that make any sense? It does. I don't know what I'm thinking. I think I'm too tired. So they added 1,100 contracts here. So they added to the synthetic, and then they split out the short call here. So, yeah, that's what happened yesterday. And then today, lots of stuff happened here. I didn't put any lines in here, so no extra buy-ins today. What they did do, those first 4 lines were the short calls that were all going to expire tomorrow at 124, 125, 126, and 127 strike prices. So they closed all of those out. They went ahead and wrote all those up and then put them at the 122 strike price expiring next week. And then they, oh yeah, this is the one that paid like over $50 million. So then they closed the synthetics that were going to expire in a few weeks with the 127 strike price and moved them down to the 115 strike price. So in doing so, you can see to close these out, it cost $46.6 million. And then to open these up in, push it to September at the 115, it cost $4.3 million. So overall, for the NVDA trades here, it was they had to pay out $40 million. So this wasn't the $50 million payout. Maybe it was a different one. I don't remember. I remember saying a 50. Maybe it was this one. I don't know. Or maybe it was just the fact of this. Yeah. The synthetics themselves cost $50.9 million. That's what it was. All right, so if we look at our trades, or not trades, our holdings here, you can see, and I went back and looked and verified, because I was like, hold on, if you look over here, how did they close? That closed quantity and the current quantity was exactly the same. But no, they only closed half of them out, which, that costs a lot of money. In fact, I don't know why they did that. Well, what I'm looking at is I guess they're going to take money out of Treasury, or they're thinking people are going to buy back in because now their cash, if you take their cash and money market, they're negative $25 million. The only way to cover that without, more money coming back in would be to take it out of Treasury there. Which I don't even deal with Treasury, so I don't know how that works or how easy that would be to do. I don't even know. But looking here, we have the 122 and 123 strike prices that expire next week. The 8 and 9, below those 8 and 9%. And it looks like we have a possible $2 upside there if we can get up to the 122 strike price, which is going up $10 because it looks like the stock dropped, closing another $2 down today. But the stock itself only dropped like, what is that? 39 cents. It drops $10 and the stock only drops 39 cents. All right. Anyway, so upside 2, you're looking at about 27 and a half. I don't know. Maybe it's a time to buy in. I don't think I'm going to do it though. Because this one's been going way, way up too high. And it's possible it's just going to keep coming down. They might be able to squeeze out one more 270 or 250, 270-ish, distribution out of this again. But after that, they may not be able to do this too much if this thing starts going down. I know everybody's been, I think, 4 out of the 5 months it's given that high distribution, trying to keep it consistent. But if NVDA doesn't keep going up forever, the stock, NVIDIA's not going to go up forever. So just keep that in mind. Of course, keep in mind, if you're a dummy like me and buying in AMDY, that when NVIDIA tanks, so is AMDY. So it's going to get even worse. It's getting close to that we all talk about when it gets down close to that $10 range. Start talking reverse splits, and dang it if AMDY isn't looking like another candidate. Anyway, sorry. Okay, OARC. This still says short call expiring tomorrow. So at this point, we've covered Apple, NVIDIA, AMC, Dizzo, JPMO, AMDY. So Tesla is the next one here. And yes, we don't have OARC here. So no trades for the last couple of days here. Just that $48 strike price, which are under 6%. Of course, this one did end up coming up some today, but it did go down a lot the past few days. Of course, because one of its largest holdings is Tesla. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Trying to move around. Just probably shouldn't be doing. Let me. Dang, I can't do that either. Why is my. Oh. It's a magnet. Alright. My iPad's really upside down. I can't prop it up the way I want to. But. Yeah, OARC. OARC went up 1 cent today. Guess it's better than going down, even if it is 1 cent. All right. I'm going to have a move because this is going to fall again. All right, so let's go to PayPay. So we know we have trades for PayPay today. They closed out the short call that's going to expire tomorrow with the $61 strike price. Paid 6 cents to close that out. And now we go to next week. It's interesting. It's going up. They went from a 61 up to a 64. Has this stock been going up this? Oh, And so here's where I don't know where we're at on earnings. So I'm going to guess maybe there's earnings, and that's why they're going up a little further, just in case. I can only, it's not that I can only assume. I could actually look it up. Since I didn't do my, I haven't done earnings or looked up anything or whatever. So when's the 30th? Yeah, that's next week. So earnings is Tuesday. Pre-market, by the way. I don't want to have to get up. I guess you don't want a lot all at once, but I prefer the post-market ones, so I know when they're coming out, which is right after close normally. I don't know when they come out in the morning. They could come out anytime. But anyway, so they closed out those for 6 cents, and we're up a little further. So let's look what we have here. So we're currently under that strike price by 11%. And it looks like a possible upside for PayPay here of $1.68. And we were down at $57 today. Like, I feel like sometimes, where am I at? Like, I guess because I don't really look at everything. And things change so quickly and whatever, but I don't know, I was just on that. I don't know why I was looking it up again. I should have some. I guess it hasn't come down enough for me to buy back in. Or not buy back in, but buy more. Maybe I should, though. Just in case. Well, earnings could go bad next week and then I'd be screwed, right? I don't have a lot of money out there with the all of the the really bad red days we've had this week, and then the fact that I was trying to do good the first couple of weeks of July, and I was like, okay, I'm going to hold out and not sell stuff. Usually once I start profiting up a little bit, then I'll just go and sell out of it, and then I'll wait, buy back, and then I'll just do some trades, right? And the first 2 weeks of July, I held out with just about everything but one. And I think it was CrowdStrike, thank goodness. And yeah, and then after those 2 weeks, I was like, well, I don't know, maybe it won't tank like historicals, because every time I go off of how the market normally goes throughout a normal year, it does the opposite. And then this time, nope, didn't do the opposite. After the first 2 weeks, everything starts to tank. And so I'm like kicking myself. All those things that I was up so much on, and now I'm just down so much. Now I'm running out of money because now we're back red, and I've done spent all my money in a couple of days time frame. All right, now I'm just getting tired talking here. I'm telling y'all stuff y'all have no care in the world about. All right, so let's get through this, right? Let me see if I can stay on course. All right, snowy here. So we have a short call that expired tomorrow. That was going to expire tomorrow with the 140 strike price. They closed those out for 6 cents today and put it on for next week again at the same 140 strike price. And then no trades yesterday. So if we look at our holdings here, we still have, we actually went up here today, $4. Nope, I don't need to get off on a tangent. All right, I know y'all can see all those over there, but then I start looking at things, and I'm like, oh, I missed that today. But anyway, the 136 strike price that closes tomorrow, we're currently underneath that 5%, which is where the majority of the contracts are. And we also have the 140 for next week, which we're under 7%. And it's interesting, though, that's a pretty high plate. Well, we were above 140 to begin with, because this is one of those I was like, man. But looks like we could possibly go up 69 cents here if we can get up to that 136 strike price tomorrow. That would be nice. Sorry, I was looking to see if it had earnings next week. I should do that later. I just don't know when I'm going to be able to look all these earning dates up. All right, so we're going to look for SQUE. So we know we didn't have any trades Thursday, and today we did. So we had the short call that's going to expire tomorrow with a $71 strike price. Close those out for 4 cents. And now we also have a strike price for next week at $71. It's crazy because block was up at like 80 something, 83, 84 not too long ago. And where are we at today? We are at $61. Wow, it's dropped that much. Because that's, that's like 20-something%. It's a quarter. But I was sitting here thinking, oh, if it's just dropping $1, they must not have earnings next week. But it's actually $10. That's 13% below. So yes, earnings are out next August 1st. So next Thursday after the market. Which is good to see, that they are doing this for all of these now. They're putting, I don't really recall them doing this before, but I could be wrong. I knew they did it for some, but it's nice to see them building in that buffer there for this. So it's given this plenty of room for the stocks to be able to recover if they can go up, which is awesome because these stocks really need to be able to recover. The unfortunate part is it's only going to happen if they actually go up. But here, like you can see right here with this, we already have our strike prices set for next week. We have 71 and 72. So we can go up $2 and it's saying here $2.33 for the short calls. So that doesn't even include the amount that we could go up for the synthetics. In fact, if we got up to that price, the synthetic over here is bringing this stock price down, bringing SQUE stock price down $2.27. Now, I'm not saying this stock's going to go up $4.50. It sure looks like it. I mean, just looking here at this sheet, right? I mean, of course, the synthetic, the market value for the synthetic price isn't going to move exactly the same, right? These are many months out. This could still be negative even once it gets above there. I've seen it happen. So, just note that. But just looking at this, thinking about it coming up, the $2.33, we're at 18. That gets us above 20 again, which it makes me wonder, like, were we just at 20? This one actually has gotten me excited now looking at it, which means I need to go back and look at some of these other ones. Where are we at now? Where is our possible upside for earnings next week? And that's maybe what I do if I do a earnings video this week, which is what I was doing last quarter. But maybe I should add this for those that are coming up that week, looking at our strike prices for that week, the possible upside and everything. I haven't truly been doing that. It just hasn't crossed my mind. But yeah, we were just at $20. What day is that? The 18th, July 18th. So yeah, last Thursday, 7 days ago, we were above $20. And now we're at under 18. So we could recover and get back up there if block can go up next week. And PayPal, though, is going to come out before block. So I wonder if that can help us or not. Anyway, here I am getting off sidetracked, but I don't know, look at how many shares I own of this and see if I want to try to buy in hopes that it's going to go back up several dollars. Of course, it could go the complete opposite. Of course, then it could just do a lot of nothing at the same time, right? So we have 3 options, and only one of them's bad. I just don't know if we want to bet on it. Yeah, well, I already own a lot of these shares. A lot. I didn't know I owned that much. I guess I should have known because I am partial to certain funds. And I don't know why. And I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Apparently, I had some orders out there that I didn't realize I had when I put in other orders today. Like some that I must have had out there good to close. Because I have 4 different orders for today. And looking at the prices, I could see that I probably did 3 of those. But 2 of those are so close together, I guarantee it's one I had sitting out there. Well, apparently I bought 100 shares of Squee today. So I guess I don't need to look at buying any more of these. Which is crazy. Because it doesn't make any sense. Oh, I say today. Yeah, today's not the 25th. This was yesterday. Which sucks because yesterday Squee was up to almost $19. To now see that it's below 18, but it also closed below 18 yesterday. So it's crazy. It makes me feel like I'm not paying attention to what's really going on out there. That also makes me wonder what point of the day that the stock was up to $19 that I paid $19 for it. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Yeah, because I'm looking at a chart. Or is this today? That's today. Oh, yeah. So the Squee yesterday, when it opened, it was at 1932. And I guess that goes back to this other thing that I did. Where is Squee? Oh, it's all the way to the bottom. Yeah. We're at 1942 close. And we're all the way down to... Oh, that's right. That's one of the ones that I'd mentioned was down $1.50. So that dropped a lot. Now, the hope could be that if these dropped this much already, how much more could they drop at earnings? I know that's... Well, they still could drop more, right? I mean, that's the answer, but... All right. I'm sorry, guys. I know. All right, Tesla. So for my sake, for all the shares that I bought yesterday, let's hope that goes back up. Tesla here. These are the ones from yesterday. They added 600 contracts to the synthetic and created a short call at the 230 strike price for next week. Today's trades, they closed out. I don't know if they did close out all of them. Let's see. Yeah, because they had lots of short calls. They closed out the 5 short calls that they had, 260, 250. Okay, so they didn't have that many. They just got these broken out. Because we have 260, 250, 265, 267.50, and 282.50. And they paid 1 cent to close all of those out. So over 30 something, over 32,000, over 33,000 contracts closed out for 1 cent a share. Which was, yep, okay, so 33,050. And then they brought in $9.5 million. Of course, they're banking on Tesla not going up next week, which makes sense. I think everybody's banking on Tesla not going up. But we had the 235 and 237.50 strike prices there for next week. So let's see overall how many. So we have 3 total short calls: 230, 235, 237.50. We're below those 4, 6, and 7% at 220. Okay, so the majority of the contracts are at that 235 strike price. So it looks like we could go about 89 cents there. That would get us back to about $16 if we could get up to that 235, which is about $15. Of course, it looks like we just went up 4 something dollars today. But I don't know if this thing's going to go up any, so we'll see. Zomo. I did see shares. I wanted these. So I think the only thing left here is going to be Ybit. And then I know we had Zomo over here. All right, so they closed out the short call at the 119 strike price. It was going to expire tomorrow. They paid 4 cents a share to close those out. And then apparently I should have moved these around and put a dotted line through it. And I guess I didn't scroll down to look at the rest of these. But we have the same strike price for next week. They rolled that out. And then they've added 75 contracts here to the synthetic position and created a short call with a strike price of 121 for next week. So if we go down here, we can see that we have 2 short calls, 119, 121. We're underneath those 1 and 3%. Possible upside of about 22 cents here for Zomo. And then just looking here, it actually came up about 27 cents today. So, okay, so then we have crash dips. We have these 3 down here. Crash, dips, and fiat. I think crash was dips was the only one we had trades in. Yeah, dips is the only one. All right, so they added 62 contracts, and then we have, I believe, a typo here on the long calls. That one says 65 versus 62. And I didn't catch it at first. I caught it as I was reviewing making lines, and that's because I don't have a data check on the long call there. So I just happened to check that one, or happened to see that one. But that's an error that they'll have to get fixed on the holdings. But anyway, yeah. So if we look over on the holdings. Oh, well, I skipped crash, so let's go ahead and go down here. You can see here, now we have the 2 short puts for next week, the 107 and the 118. Hold on. Is that? Let me look, because I didn't look in depth here. That 118 was from before. Yeah, that was before we started tanking, so it was our initial there. All right, yeah, so we can see that we are already underneath that 5%. I think this is the first time I've seen a negative on one of these short ones where one's actually been underneath the short put. So I'm just looking here. It's $5 and something different, so it would have cost $7 and something a share to close that out. Anyway, this is just red showing that should have only been, or that's making the count go over. Should have been 62. And sorry, the price isn't over here, and I just didn't go look it up. But anytime a new one is entered, actually, usually like the first day or two, the stock price usually comes up, and then it just doesn't come up for maybe even a week or several days for sure. But this one I don't even think came up at all yet for through Google Finance, and I just don't go look them up. Anyway, all right. So let's go back up to crush. These other ones didn't have trade, so I have the two short puts at 220 and the 222.50 strike price. So Tesla closed at 220.25 today, so it's just 25 cents above the 220 strike price. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. It shows at the end of the day it was going to cost 260 a share to close those out. So we'll see. But then we have this other short put with the 220.50 strike price. So we're underneath that, $2.25 a share. Of course, it would have cost $3.90 a share to close those out. We'll see how this goes tomorrow. Which makes me wonder, what did it look like when Tesla was at 215 the day before for the holdings on that one? Since I don't really recall seeing those before, so let's look. So this was yesterday's holdings for crash. So yesterday we were below both of them. Look, we went from 246 to 215. $30 drop there. Yeah, we were above that one, or below that one 2%, and below this one 3%. And it was going to cost $6 and $8 a share yesterday. And now we're down to 2.5 and 4. See, now I'm looking. So our net assets, I've never really been able to compare. So I'm just curious and looking at how these numbers here are changing on this one as we go. It's funny that long call is worthless. The other day, that's sort of what I was looking at the other day when we were in the 250s. We could have got 43 cents a share for the long calls, and now we're looking at about 5 cents, and they expire in a few weeks. But yeah, anyway. All right, so, and then we had fiat down here. It didn't have any trades either. We have a short put that expires tomorrow with a strike price of 225, and even though we've dropped about $13.50 today, we're still above the 225 there. And then YBit. So we did have trades for YBit. Don't look at that ulti stuff down there on the bottom, because that's not, I had that in a different workbook. But YBit, so this was from yesterday. You can see they added 1,880 contracts to this yesterday. It's a lot because it's a cheaper stock than most. That's why it seems like it's a lot. And then today, they closed out of, after doing all that, they had to close out of 700 contracts. Why does that seem weird? Hold on. Oh, probably because YBit does have, yeah. It's, all of its stuff expire next week. So they had to sell out of 700 contracts, so the synthetic that was going to expire next week. And then they closed out of, 700, well, all of the short calls that were going to expire tomorrow, the 24 and 24.50. They paid 5 and 3 cents. And then all of them, except for 700 of them, were opened up for next week. Position was opened up, expiring next Friday at the $24 strike price. And basically what I'm trying to say, because they don't break it up anymore, that's 24,550 minus the 700 they closed out here would be the 23,855. So if we look over here in our holdings, we can see we have 2 short calls. I know it's out of order, but it's because of the coding that they're using it. I don't personally understand it. Why now sometimes we have a 2 in front of, I don't know, some of the short calls, causing things to not sort properly when they send it out or whatever. But anyway, we have 2 short calls, and then we have the synthetic position. They're both going to expire next week. So where we stand with that is our short calls are $24 and $24.50 strike prices. We're under those 6 and 8%. But then we also have BIDO here that has, the synthetic for BIDO is a $35 strike price. Of course, we're at 22.5, so we're currently underneath that strike price 36%, which is costing us a lot of money per share there. In fact, it says $9.11 a share. And that's because to close this synthetic out, it's going to cost $33 million. Well, at the end of close of the day, it was saying it was going to cost over $33 million to close out the synthetic position. Total net assets is almost 60. So it's a significant amount there. We'll see what happens, and goes into this next week. I think BIDO's next distribution is, I think BIDO's at the beginning of the month. I don't really remember. I was covering these, and then I forgot and stopped going over the comparisons of all of them. Let's see real quick. Dividends. Yeah, they're the first of the month. So which means on the 2nd, let's see. Let me see dates here. No, so the ex-dividend date is the 1st. So it's going to drop on the 1st, unless I guess it's whatever. But in this case, the 1st is on a Thursday, so yeah. So this will drop by the amount, the stock will drop by the amount of the distribution. And the distribution has been around $1.50 to $1.80 the last 3 months, just a heads up. So that could put us down looking at maybe $21 if it stayed today and just dropped by the distribution. I don't know. Anyway, so that is one thing different with this one. It has a significant amount of distribution for the underlying. Some of the other ones, it's like very tiny, right? Tiny percentages, 1% or whatever, if you're looking at some of those larger cap stocks that have a tiny distribution or dividend. All right, anyways, sorry. I know this video has taken forever, and I apologize. But, I don't know, hopefully I found something in here, something useful, if nothing else, just going through and looking at the numbers. But I will talk with y'all later. Bye.